So, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. We are going to go through a special practice today, which specifically is going to help us discern the difference between the feeling of, or even the voice in the head of anxiety and fear versus what is true intuitive guidance. And the reason I wanted to focus on this topic specifically this month is yeah, a lot going on in the world. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down or resolving. In fact, looking at the collective from the perspective of astrology, we had a big event happen about a week ago. The planet Uranus just entered into the sign of Gemini. So, all the far away outer planets, which the ones furthest away from the sun and from the earth, the ones that have more of an impact collectively on the field of society and humanity, they are currently all in fire and air signs. And they had formerly been in earth and water, which is a little quieter and slower. So suddenly we are going to, well, it isn't just suddenly because Pluto's been in Aquarius for about a year, but we're going to be moving much faster and things are going to be much more active, if you can believe that. And specifically with Uranus going into Gemini, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is the fastest moving planet. Gemini deals with the mind, and Uranus is deals with the higher mind. This is going to be a time of a lot of mental information coming at us and probably a lot of overwhelm. So if if your nervous system has already been a little frayed, this is the time now. I just can't say this enough, and I say this in all my classes. We need to all really learn how to regulate the nervous system. It's going to be critical for navigating these times of great change and great overload. We also need to be able to discern when we get all this information what's true, and specifically what's true for us, what's true based on our higher self, because it can be very confusing these days. With AI and with a lot of misinformation, people can basically just show up and say anything. So when we take in information, if it causes us anxiety, that's a really good signal that we need to pause and take a deep breath and feel into the body. Is this true for me? Or what is important for me to know about this? Or is there a next step? Basically, what's needed now? Discerning if it is in fact true, and then determining, is there anything to do about it? So we're going to jump in right away. And welcome back. If you don't know me, I am Ann Whitmer. I'm a longtime Yin yoga teacher and intuitive spiritual guide. And each month I offer this free class on YouTube to basically relax the body, quiet the mind, and open the heart to receive higher guidance. And we're going to do that right now. So we're going to start on our backs in Shavasana. And I'm going to tip this down just a little bit. So you're going to lie down, and if you want to, I would suggest not put anything under your knees for now, unless your low back needs that support, because we're going to do an old-fashioned tension release exercise. So this is a common practice in real old school yoga, and not just in yoga, in many movement practices, but I think in many ways, I'm trying to get out of the light stream. In many ways, this kind of encapsulates the difference between stress, anxiety, fear, and our true nature, which when we're closer physically to the state of our true nature, that's when that higher guidance comes in. So when we're up in our head, when we're in our ego, and we're trying to make things happen, and we feel we got to do it on our own, and we got to stay in control, we got to control the outcome. Ego, mind, contraction. This, what? Ugh, ego. This, calm, relaxed, receptive, yinny. That's the state that we need to be in to actually hear the voice of our higher self. So, as you lie down, you may have done this before. What we're going to do on the inhale is we're going to contract all the muscles of our body. So, we'll squeeze the hands, we'll squeeze the toes, squeeze your face, bring your shoulders up to your ears, and we'll hold the breath as we hold that contraction. And then when I say so, we're going to let that all go. And we're going to do it 3 times. Okay. So when you're ready, deep breath in, hold the breath, contract all your muscles, really squeeze, 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 squeeze your face too. And let go with a big sigh. Ha! Whew. Yeah. Okay, just allow some time to let all that decompress. And then we're going to do it all again. All right. So when you're ready, deep breath in, inhale, squeeze and contract, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as you hold the breath, squeeze the face, and let it go. Ha! It's like putting down a heavy backpack. And just notice it. What you'll probably notice is a reverberation of that stress and contraction. And we'll talk about that. Okay, last time, take a deep breath in, squeeze the body, contract all your muscles, hold the breath, squeeze, 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 like your life depends on it. We got to stay in control. Fix, 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 do, let it go. Ha. Ah. Now, really let go. Really try to let go. And what you might notice is it takes a little time. And you might notice that your hands, maybe they're not completely in fist, but the fingers might still be a little curled. This is significant because we get into the habit of having our nervous system always firing in fight or flight, fight, flight, freeze. And the body naturally goes into contraction and it starts to feel normal, which is no good, no bueno. We don't want stress and contraction to feel normal. So now really try to let the body surrender. And notice the places where there's still tension. Oftentimes that's in the face. So can you relax the face, particularly around the eyes, in between the eyebrows, the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Relax the throat. Okay, another big holder of stress is the belly. Can you relax the belly? Just feel your body being received by the floor. And knowing that that stable ground is beneath you, can you let go a little more? So one of my favorite sayings, ancient Chinese saying, is stress, you could also say contraction, is who you think you should be. Think about that. That's who you think you should be. That's your ego. I need to be this. I need to do this. I need to prove myself. That's the ego. Relaxation is who you really are. So start to notice the possibility of who you really are. As the body softens, as the contraction starts to lessen and unwind, start to notice that the edges of the body are not quite as sharp. There's kind of a melting feeling if you're really allowing relaxation. We go from that sense of separation, which is the ego, to a softer, more connected way of being in the world, more connected to everything and everyone, but most importantly for intuition, connected to spirit or to that universal intelligence that flows through life. So just take some time now and just notice what else is here. Take a moment to really observe the mind. And we're just going to be in silence just for 1 minute. Doesn't sound like long, but it can seem like eternity when you're trying to just quiet the mind. And all I want you to do is just relax and just observe. Kind of notice if the mind has jumped into planning. What am I going to do after this class? Or is it thinking about, am I doing this right? Is it commenting or critiquing? Or has it slipped over into distraction or fantasy? Just see if for the next 8 breaths, if you can keep the mind focused just on either the sound of your breath or the sensation of the breath in the body. You can feel it in the belly, up in the nose, or in the chest, wherever it's most accessible, most noticeable to you. So just 8 breaths. Can you stay present? So it seems like such a simple task, but it's not, and I know it's not. It's a very important skill to learn in this day and age when we really, when everything is vying for our attention. The ability to focus your awareness into that, what we call in yoga, that single pointed focus is really essential to navigate all this. So when we stay up in stress, much harder to get into that state. All right, from here, let's go ahead and we'll just bring the knees into the chest and just rock a little bit on the low back. And then we're going to rock lengthwise up and down. And come all the way up to seated. Someone's messaging me that I think they can't get in. Okay, so from here, let's do some flowing cow-cat. So I like to do this a lot in yin class. We're just gonna, on the inhale, drop the belly and then scoop the chest forward, coming into cow pose, and then exhale, rounding into cat. But from here, we're going to shift the hips down to the heels. And inhale back up. Cow. Exhale, cat. Hips to heels. Just slow movement guided by the breath. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Coming down hips to heels. And then really stretch your arms forward. If you can get the head on the floor, do that. And come onto your fingertips on the floor. So just the fingertips are the only part of the arm and hand that's touching the ground. And push down and slightly forward with your fingertips and feel the shoulders engage. And then relax the palms down. We're just going to walk the hands over to the right. And as you do that, shift the hips to the left. And then just switch sides. We'll take the hands over to the left, hips to the right. Okay, then we're going to come back through center. The hands are far forward. We're going to inhale up to tabletop, but with your hands a little forward of the shoulders. See, instead of right under, a little forward. Inhale here. On the exhale, if you can, lower the belly and come down into a little cobra. So you're bending your elbows, shoulders are back, looking up. Then we're going to inhale the hips up and exhaling back, hips to heels. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, lower the thighs down, coming into cobra. And then inhale, push down with the hands, lift the hips. Exhale, hips to heels. And last time, coming through tabletop, lowering the legs down. And this time we're going to bring the elbows down to the ground, coming into Sphinx. But what I want you to do is come into Sphinx with your palms up. So it's going to look like this. There we go. Palms up. And the reason for this is we're going to feel into some of the typical places where we tend to feel anxiety or fear. And one of them is the chest and the throat. So just close your eyes and just notice what is naturally there. What are you feeling right now? In the throat, even in the belly. Feel the sternum. Again, this is where fear often resides. And just notice as you're in the shape, is there any gripping in the throat or chest? Does the breath feel shallow? And just observing. It may or may not. And now, I'm going to offer you a suggestion. So from Sphinx with the palms up, if you turn the palms down, that actually will ground you a bit more, a little better if you're nervous or anxious. Also, if you have a yoga block, you can rest your forehead straight down on the block. And what this does is it cues the nervous system to just slow down. So that little gentle pressure here at the eyebrow ridge, just tells the nervous system, okay. So go ahead and try that and see if you notice any difference. Long, deep breaths. And again, return to your natural breath pattern, trying to keep the mind focused either on the sound or the sensation of the breath. Hello, midlife psychic. I see you. So we are resting in Sphinx pose, which is on your belly with your elbows right underneath your shoulders. And we experimented with either having the palms up without any support of the head, a little bit more exposed, or more grounded, palms down, head on the block. And let's take about 8 more breaths here. Again, trying to keep the mind clear and focused on the breath itself. Okay, from here, if you're using a block, just put that off to the side. We're going to make a pillow with our forearms. Take your feet a little bit, just slightly wider than your hips. And we're going to rest our forehead straight down on the forearms. If you need to reset the low back at all after doing Sphinx, you can bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs. That often feels good for circles. Just shifting the hips. And then just rest. And I want you to notice your belly, another place where fear and anxiety often grip us. So I tend to get it right here in that solar plexus, a tightening. It's usually for me there, the throat, closing of the throat and the chest, and it all collapses. So what do you notice right now naturally in your belly? Does it feel tight in any way? Or is it relaxed? Now, sometimes it feels a little different when you're lying face down. But one thing that is very helpful to do when you are lying face down is to actually strengthen the diaphragm. And the way you do that is by actively pushing the belly into the ground on that inhale. So take a deep inhale, really push the belly button against the floor, and notice how the air starts to expand out the sides of the body and the back body. On the exhale, just a gentle drawing in of the belly button, nothing aggressive. Inhale, push against the floor with the belly. Exhale, gentle drawing in. Inhale, push against the floor. Exhale, gentle drawing in. 2 more. Push, draw in, push, draw in, and then just relax. Okay, from here, we're going to flip over onto our backs, and we're going to come into bridge pose. So if you have a block or something that can elevate your hips, you could even be some pillows. What we're going to do is we're going to lift the hips up and slide the prop underneath the sacrum. So that's the very base of your low back. So it's more support under the low back more than the glutes itself. We're going to turn the palms up, try to relax the shoulders down. And now we can notice the quality of the belly from an upright position. So what's happening there now? Do you feel any sensations in the belly? Particularly any tension, tightness, or fluttering? And what we're going to do here is a little massage. So I'm going to sit up to show you. So we're going to massage the vagus nerve by bringing your hands up towards your sternum. And we're just going to slide one hand down, one after the other, only moving in a downward direction. So from the sternum down towards the pubic bone, just really slow as we breathe. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and just continue with that stroking, very soothing. And then we'll do another abdominal massage. So just taking your hand, just in a light fist, we're just going to make circles going in a clockwise direction. If the sternum is 12 and the pubic bone is 6. Okay. And then one last thing while we're in bridge, we're going to do another nervous system soother, one that I love. It's often done with children, and it's called havening, and I have no idea why. I can't find I can't find any information on the internet of why it's called that, but it is, and it was often used, and it still is, with children to soothe them. So you bring your hands to your shoulders, and again, you stroke downward with your hands, shoulder towards elbow, only downward, and just really soft and slow. And it feels really good if you have short sleeves on and can actually make contact with the skin. We are having unusually strange warm weather for the 3rd of May. It's 90 degrees in Portland. So I should be wearing no sleeves, but I'm inside. Okay. And then just rest your arms down by your sides. And just again, go back into focusing on the breath, either the sound of the breath or the felt sensation in the body for 8 breaths. I just went from back to words. I'm just having such a hard time with the light today. Let me see if I can move. Okay, we'll deal with that. Okay, from here, we're going to lift the hips up, remove the block, and bring the knees into the chest. And just rock side to side. You can make some circles with the knees. And reverse direction. Okay, and then we're going to rock on our spine up and down and come all the way back up to seated. Okay, so we talked about some places where fear and anxiety often reside: throat, belly, chest. But there's another big place, the main place, the source of it all, up here in the mind. So again, when we are disconnected, when we are overloaded, when we are like, la, 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 the mind takes over. The mind tries to control. It tries to tell you, what it thinks you need to try to keep you safe, but it's not always accurate. So the mind gets overactive. That's that rumination. I don't know, should I do this? Should I do that? Okay, so we're going to drop the head in this pose, literally. And this is called Anahatasana, the pose of the heart. And I'm going to give you a couple of options. So from tabletop, the basic pose is like this. You just slide your hands forward and you drop your chest and head. Okay? And that works for some people. For some people, it's a little more comfortable if you use a bolster. So with a bolster, what you're going to do is place your elbows on the bolster and walk the hips back, because you want your knees to be underneath the hips. If the hips are back here by your heels, that's a different pose. So we want hips under the knees, which means you have to get down low and move your knees back. So you just drop your elbows and forehead onto the bolster. You can also use a block or pillow. Drop the chest. I like to bend my elbows and bring the hands back onto the back. Okay. And then once you come into that shape, and if that's too much for you for any reason, you can always just come to child's pose. That works as well. But go ahead and just start to notice what's going on in the mind. Is the mind busy? Hopefully we've gotten about half hour into our practice, so I hope it's starting to slow down. But the power of the mind is just that. It's grippy. You can be doing an hour of yoga, and if you are really, just always overloaded, it can take a long time to quiet the mind. So just notice what's present now. And imagine as the head drops close to the floor, can you just allow the contents of the mind to drop down into the earth itself? So much about learning to receive is just that, learning to surrender our sense of control. It's actually really key to getting into that intuitive flow. It's not about figuring it out. It's the opposite. It's getting out of the head. The head is a dangerous neighborhood. Get out of there. Long, deep breath. Let's take 6 more breaths here, and consciously with each exhale, really have the intention of I'm letting go of breath, letting go of thought. I'm easing into surrender. It's not effortful, it's effortless. Just like water flows down a hill. Let the same happen in your mind. Okay, let's come out of this. So if you are on the bolster, just bring your hands down to the floor. You can take that bolster out and come back into hands and knees. And just do a few moments of cow-cat, or you can do cow-cat hula hoop, which is just the lifting and lowering of the torso as you circle in reverse directions. And then we'll come down onto our seat and do a few windshield wipers. So in windshield wipers, your feet are forward of your knees, hands are behind you, and you just let the knees drop to one side as you turn the head in the opposite direction. Inhale back to center, switch. Inhale, center, switch, center, switch, center, switch. Okay, we're going to set up for our last pose, everyone's favorite. And how we're going to do it, now you can do this perfectly fine without any props, but I'm going to show you with props first. So if you have something to elevate a bolster or a sofa cushion, that's kind of nice. It makes it a little bit more like a lounge chair. So I'm going to use another bolster here. You can use a block if you've got a lot of blocks. So I'm just making it kind of like a lean-to. There you go. And then the position, butterfly, is simply bringing the soles of the feet together. So unlike in Hatha classes, where the heels, when we do this shape, are very close to the groin, in Yin, we bring the feet further away, more of a diamond shape. So you're going to do that, and ideally, you want to support your knees. So if you have blocks work great. I just kind of angle them in under my knee, but alternatively, you can also use just throw pillows. So I will just show you with the props. Just like that. Now, if you don't have anything, no worries. You're going to do this on the floor, just like this. And anything that might help you be more comfortable, if you can put any kind of pillows or towels underneath your knees or something under your head. I just want you to be maximum comfort, because this is when we're going to do our meditation and really try to feel out the difference between the feeling of stress and anxiety and that true feeling of inner guidance. So I'm going to give you a moment to just get settled. If you want to turn off the lights, you can, or even put something over your eyes. And then once you are ready, just go ahead and come back to your breath. Bring the breath back down low into the belly and just take a few belly breaths. Feel the weight of the body. We're taking just a neutral snapshot. Okay? So just noticing how the body feels in this moment in a relatively neutral state. And you can just scan the body, from the head down to the toes. Just making note of just generally how things feel. Do you sense a temperature in your palms or in your belly, chest? Okay, again, this is the body at rest. This is your neutral zone. And now we're going to mess with it a little, just for a short time. And then we'll leave you lovely and very well resourced. But for a moment, we're going to go into stress, okay? So I want you to think about something that's been weighing on your mind. Honestly, something that Maybe it's even keeping you up at night, a decision you have to make or a situation where you're not sure what to do, and it has been causing you some anxiety, something at work, maybe you're even considering leaving a job or leaving a relationship. So just call to mind something that's been weighing on you, where there's some either indecision or decision you need to make, or just a sense of, I'm not sure what to do here. And just let it be present in your awareness. We're not trying to resolve it right now. And just notice what happens just by bringing this up. What happens in your body? So I'm going to go to the midterm elections because that always stresses me out. Okay. Yeah. And immediately I get this naughty feeling in my belly. What do you notice in your situation? Okay. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Whew. Okay. Now we're just, for purposes of learning, we're going to allow ourselves to imagine everything in this situation going wrong. Okay. So what if you make the wrong choice? Feel that. What happens if you don't decide, or you don't decide soon enough? Oh my gosh. Or what if it's already too late? You've missed your chance. It's over. You screwed up again. Just let the mental chatter run. And notice the feel of the thoughts. First of all, notice how the energy, we brought so much into our belly, the energy comes right up into the head. And there's often a bit of chaos, a bit of spinning. When you're very, very stressed, there's almost a darting. Just notice how you are experiencing it. Really feel, what if I screwed up? What if I make the wrong choice and then I'm left alone for the rest of my life, or I have no money? Money's always a good one to stress you out. Okay, so where do you feel sensation? This is so important. Where does the voice of stress and anxiety live in your body, and how does it feel? Very important to understand this. Where in your body do you feel sensation when you think these thoughts? Notice if the shoulders have slowly crept up to the ears. I always notice that in class. I see people, not as a result of yoga, but I see them like coming in and they're all, okay. Notice the quality of your breath. Is it still low and smooth, or is it started to shorten? And what's the temperature of the body? Sometimes with stress, it gets hot, or some people get very cold. Okay, really try to note every sensation you've noticed: jaw, chest, throat, belly, wherever you feel it. Just make a note of it, because we're going to let it go. All right. So we're going to do some rinsing, some emotional rinsing. And what I want you to do is, like at the beginning, we are going to take a deep breath in and hold it. You don't have to tense up, but take a deep breath in, hold the breath. And then on the exhale, I want you to shake everything and make noise. Go, but shake your legs and your arms. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So deep breath in, hold the breath, exhale. Okay, I could hear you laughing through the screen. And we're doing it 1 more time. Okay, deep breath in. Let it go. Okay. Deep breaths in the belly. We're going to really transition into presence. All right. Best way to do that is with the breath. So bring your awareness into the belly. We're going to do a simple practice, which is great to know. It's often called 4-7-8 breathing. Some people change the count a little bit, but basically you inhale for a count of 4, you hold the breath for 7 counts, and then you exhale to a count of 8. And this is a way to focus the mind, get yourself calm, and bring the breath down into the belly. If you do not like to hold the breath, just simply inhale for 4 and exhale for 8. Ideally, for nervous system regulation, to calm the mind, you want the exhale to be twice as long as the inhale. Okay, so let's start together. We'll do about 5 rounds. Awareness in the belly. We're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just relax. Now dropping your awareness even deeper and into the heart. Bring your awareness right to the center of the chest. And just call to mind something or somebody who you deeply love, who brings a smile to your face. Either a loved one, maybe a pet, maybe a spirit guide. And just feel your love for them. And feel it through your whole body. That sense of ease, that sense of connection. Also feel a deep sense of gratitude for this relationship, for having this person or animal being in your life. Gratitude for the love that you share between you. And gratitude for anything else in your life. The heart and love are expansive. Stress and the mind are contracting. So feel the expansion, feel the connection. Yeah, just feel the whole body take on this feeling of love, as if you just stepped into a beautiful warm bath and your whole body goes, oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now, coming back to this area, this situation in your life, without going back up into your head, from this deep place of presence, just ask yourself, what wants to be known? And be careful, because sometimes when we pose a question, the mind wants to take over. Stay in your body. Stay calm. Stay deep. Feel what wants to be known. What is true for me? What is true for me in this situation? And we're asking from the higher self. What's needed now? And the guidance is subtle. It's probably not going to come back to you with a 4-point plan. It's going to come back to you with feelings, images, symbols, phrases, songs. What do you notice? What emerges when the body is relaxed, when the mind is calm? What is true beneath the noise? Often, when something comes in that really resonates with our soul, with our higher self, we often get tingles, or sometimes it's just a feeling of warmth. Sometimes a subtle pulsing. I often, in fact, I'm doing that. I'm rocking a little bit when I get into presence. I have, because it is flow. It's flow. So that may be true. We all have our own unique signature. But messages that come from our higher self usually don't come in with any kind of emotional charge. Even if there's a sense of like, you need to get out of here, your intuition will do it in a calmer way. It will just give you the thought, maybe I need to go this way today. And you miss an accident. It's that. It doesn't, it really doesn't. It's subtle, it's clear, it's a felt feeling in the body. That's what in yoga we talk about viveka, discernment, that sort of discernment. When clarity comes, it comes in without mental anything. It just comes in. And I think we've all experienced that, where you just like, you wake up and you're like, I'm done. I'm done with that job. Take this job and shove it. And it's just like, it's just certitude. So again, is this taking me to a fearful mental looping place? Anxiety, stress, the voice of the ego trying to control the situation. Is this coming in with a sense of calm clarity? Okay, again, just going back to your signature. If you did receive something, what was the feeling in the body when it came in? Did you have sensations? What was the mind like and the heart? Anything that you can really, after this class, write down will really help you in the moment. And right now, just before we go to a final Shavasana, if you want to straighten the legs, you can do that. Your choice if you want to come off the bolster or not. But just remember, fear keeps you in your head, and it's usually going to a place in the future or the past. Clear intuition is in the present moment. So that's why the body is so often involved, because the body is the present moment. So there's a different feeling. You're not like, yeah, yeah, you're here, stable. Okay. Few things. Just noticing that you've spun out into fear, into anxiety, if you can catch that, wow, you are so far ahead of most people today, unfortunately, because that stress pattern has become so habituated. So noticing, oh gosh, I've done it. I've lost my connection. I've lost my connection to source. I'm spinning in my head. Noticing it is huge. And then if you can go right into the body, okay, what am I feeling now? Take a deep breath. Breath is the key. Lower it into the belly and slow it down. And then what am I feeling? Maybe rub your hands, bring a hand to your chest so you feel the warmth. I feel warmth. My breath is slowing down. Making a movement in the lower body. So if you're seated, moving your knees, curling your toes, getting any kind of movement down in the lower part is very grounding, lower part of the body. That havening can really help you turn that anxiety down. So you go into that more receptive place. If you have the time to go into gratitude and all that, great. But at least get into the body, get present. And then the simplest question, what's needed now? What's needed now? And then just trust. There's an odd little phenomenon with intuition and spiritual guidance. We often have to trust first, and then we get the evidence, which is, kind of backwards from what we learned in school. Okay, let's take the last few moments in silence. Again, either on your bolster, or if you want to come off and just lie flat, you can do that. Few more deep, long breaths. And then when you feel ready, you're going to slowly roll to your side, and you're going to come up and pick a card or pick two cards. Okay, I have to get them. Okay, here we go. Okay, that looks good. Okay, these are hard because they're round. All right, this is number 1 right here. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 3. Number 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick a card or pick 2. So this is for either your week ahead or your month ahead. Something to think about. Okay, number 1. So this week or this month is going to be about relationships. So think about that. That could mean perhaps relationships are the big issue right now, and there's some discernment that you need to do within them. Or maybe it's using relationships to help you deal with this situation, calling a friend, phoning a friend, and getting some support, or just getting your mind off of it for a while and having fun. Number 2, problems with this camera and these round cards, reflect. Okay, so for discernment, this is about going inside, spending some time, if you meditate, ideally, but at least getting quiet, doing something like painting or coloring or something you enjoy that just kind of gets you out of your head and just reflect, time for reflection. And then number 3, I like this one. Number 3s, it's up level. All right, so number 3s, you're kind of having a great week or month, I believe. So let's just say that you are up level. You're going to be up leveling. Love that. And finally, number 4, could it be even any more appropriate? Love. Love is the answer. I think that's a song. If you feel afraid, love one another. Da, da, da. I think that was an old like Seals and Crofts song, something like that. Anyway, it has been a lot of fun. I hope that you did get some insight and some practice in being able to discern, and at the very least, learning some tools to get out of the head and down into the body, which is really the only way you can get some real true guidance, which we're all going to need. I love you all so much. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing another live because this month we're trying something new. We're going to do an energy reading live, perhaps with a special guest. So that is going to be on Friday, May 16th. And until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Love to all. Bye-bye. Take care, guys.